Okay, so picture this. You're walking with dinosaurs, right? Back when they ruled the Earth. Now, fast forward a bit. Well, actually, rewind a whole lot. Turns out, deep under the Pacific, there's this massive chunk of ancient seafloor, like a leftover from that dinosaur era. And it's on a one-way trip into the Earth's mantle.
Really makes you think, huh?
It's not just some, geological sideshow. This thing's shaking up how we understand how the planet itself works. We've got a whole stack of research papers here laying out the details, and honestly, it reads like a detective story.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Scientists, using seismic waves, basically like a giant X-ray, found this slab hundreds of miles down, right beneath us.
What's wild is this slab's been on this journey for over 120 million years. Talk about a blast from the past, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about subduction here, the process where oceanic plates basically clash and one gets pushed down under the other. But this particular slab, it's unique. It's incredibly thick. We're talking Himalayas tall, thick, and it's been stuck in the mantle for, well, millions of years, messing with the very structure of Earth's insides.
Okay, so you're saying this isn't just some random slab, it's actually impacting things on a massive scale.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really cool. See, the Earth's mantle isn't just one big uniform blob of molten rock. There are these zones within it, massive zones, think continent size, called mantle blobs, or LLSVPs if you want to get technical. They're super hot, slow-moving material, and we always thought they were pretty much the same throughout. But this discovery, well, it's throwing a wrench in that idea.
How so?
This ancient slab, it's acting like this giant, for lack of a better term, cold downwelling. Imagine a giant ice cube slowly melting into a thick soup. That's kind of what's happening.
Yeah.
It's pushing its way into one of these mantle blobs.
Yeah.
The first time we're seeing this kind of interaction and action, and it's changing how we understand these massive structures and how they affect the planet's geology.
So we've got this coal slab sinking down, interacting with this hot, dense blob. I'm trying to wrap my head around the scale here.
Think of it like the East African Rift Valley, right? You know how there's a hot plume pushing up, splitting the continent apart? This is like the opposite, but happening deep within the Earth. A cold downwelling caused by this ancient slab is essentially dividing this massive blob of deep Earth material.
That's incredible. It's like we're seeing the opposite of plate tectonics happening right before our eyes, only it's happening over millions of years.
Right. And the big question, the one these research papers really dig into, is how did this slab get stuck in such a weird spot in the first place?
Yeah, it seems like it's taken a detour from the usual subduction route.
There are a few leading theories, both pointing towards some serious tectonic plate drama hundreds of millions of years ago. Imagine the ancient versions of the Nazca plate in South America splitting apart, and this slab gets wedged between them. Or, another possibility is that during a period where those plates were shuffling around, it got kind of, well, shoved under the Nazca plate's ancestor.
Like a cosmic game of Tetris gone wrong.
Kinda. Either way, it just goes to show the insane power that shaped our planet over eons, right? And get this, the research also found something else pretty amazing. The slab's descent is incredibly slow. We're talking 0.5 to 1 centimeter per year.
Wow, slower than a snail. What's causing that?
Well, a few things. This slab, it's a beast. Super thick. And the mantle around it, yeah, it's hot, but it's also super viscous. Think of trying to push a giant pancake through a swimming pool full of honey. It'll move, but man, it's going to be slow going.
So you're telling me we've got these incredible slow motion processes happening right beneath our feet over millions of years. But this is about more than just what's happening deep inside the Earth, right? This impacts us up here on the surface, too.
100%. Let's talk about how this ancient slab and these mysterious mantle blobs might be linked to something we all know about. Volcanoes. You see, it's all about location, location, location. This slab, right under the Nazca plate. And that place is a hotbed, literally, for geological fireworks.
You're talking about the Nazca plate, the one that causes all those crazy earthquakes and volcanic eruptions in South America.
Bingo. You've got this ancient cold slab butting heads with the hot and bothered system under the Nazca.
Yeah.
It's a recipe for some seriously wild geology, like having a giant science experiment happening right under our feet.
So hold on. You're saying by studying this one slab, this one interaction with the mantle, we might be able to figure out how volcanoes work better. Maybe even get a jump on predicting eruptions.
It's definitely on the table. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Volcanoes erupt because of magma pushing up from the mantle, right?
Yeah.
So if we can crack the code on how these mantle blobs and subductant slabs get along, who knows what we might discover?
It's all connected, which brings me to something I was wondering about these mantle blobs themselves. Where do they come from in the first place?
Ah, the million-dollar question. The research points to a couple of really intriguing possibilities. One theory is that they're like leftovers from way, way back, like early solar system leftovers. Imagine that. Material that's been around for billions of years, basically unchanged, right here on Earth.
Okay, that's just mind-blowing. What's the other idea?
So the other possibility is that these blobs, they kind of build up over time, like as slabs, just like our ancient seafloor pal, sink down into the mantle. They don't just disappear, they sort of pile up in these specific spots. It's like Earth's deep down recycling center, and these blobs are where everything ends up.
So we've got these massive blobs maybe holding the secrets to how the Earth formed, slowly being infiltrated by these ancient slabs, and it's all impacting what we see up here, the earthquakes, the volcanoes. It's all connected. It's mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling is right. And what's even more wild is that it shows just how alive the Earth's insides really are. There isn't just some static, boring lump of rock down there. It's constantly moving, changing with its own currents and structures. It's a whole world down there.
It's like we're looking at a brand new planet, but it's been under our feet all along. So how do we learn more? What are researchers doing to get a better handle on these mantle blobs and how they make the Earth tick?
Well, it's a mix of high-tech and, honestly, good old-fashioned detective work. They're using these super advanced seismic imaging techniques, basically creating 3D maps of what's going on inside the Earth. It's like giving the planet an ultrasound. And with these images, they can actually track the movements of these slabs, map out the blobs, and pinpoint the most interesting spots for further investigation.
We're talking about using cutting-edge technology to peek into the heart of our planet. It's like a journey to the center of the Earth, but in real life.
Exactly. But it's not just about seeing, it's about understanding, right? So they're also developing these incredibly complex computer models to simulate the Earth's internal processes, things like mantle convection and plate tectonics. They feed these models data from the seismic imaging and other sources, and that helps us understand what drives the plates to move, how these blobs are formed, and even what triggers events like earthquakes and volcanic eruptions.
It sounds like we're entering a whole new era of discovery when it comes to the planet. But it takes more than fancy technology, doesn't it? You still need brilliant minds to take all that data, make sense of it, come up with new ideas.
100%. It's the scientists, the ones who can look at this complex data, connect the dots, and think outside the box. Who are the real drivers here? It's their curiosity and dedication that pushes the boundaries of what we know.
It's like a perfect partnership. Cutting-edge technology and human ingenuity working together to solve the mysteries of our planet. But let's go back to our ancient slab for a moment. This discovery, as amazing as it is, it's just one piece of a much bigger puzzle, right?
Now you're getting it. And that's what makes it all so exciting.
How so? What else is out there, hidden beneath the surface, just waiting to be discovered? So we've been on this wild ride, talking about this ancient slab of seafloor, taking the plunge through the Earth's mantle. But you're saying this is just the beginning.
Oh, absolutely. Think of it like this. We found one ancient slab, one incredible story. But Earth has been doing this for billions of years. So scientists are finding more and more of these, what they're calling subduction graveyards, all over the place.
Subduction graveyards, that's a pretty metal term for geology.
Right, but it's accurate. Each one is like a time capsule, packed with clues about how Earth's tectonic plates have shifted and moved throughout history.
It's like our planet has this whole hidden history buried deep down, and we're just now starting to uncover it. So this isn't just about looking back in time, is it? What can we actually do with this information?
That's the exciting part. By studying these ancient processes, we're not just learning about the past, we're getting clues about how the Earth works today. Earthquakes, volcanoes, even how continents form, and where we find valuable resources.
Yeah.
It's all connected to these deep Earth processes.
Wow, so this research could actually have real-world applications, like helping us predict natural disasters or find new sources of energy.
Exactly. The more we understand about how Earth works, the better prepared we are to deal with the challenges and harness the opportunities that come with living on a dynamic planet.
This has been one incredible deep dive. We started with this one ancient slab, and now we're talking about the Earth's deep history, mantle blobs, plate tectonics, even the formation of the moon. What an incredible journey. But before we wrap up, I gotta ask, what are the big questions that scientists are still trying to figure out?
That's the beauty of science, isn't it? Always more to learn. One of the big mysteries is how these processes deep down, how they actually affect the surface over millions of years. We talked about volcanoes and earthquakes, but what about the continents themselves? Do these mantle blobs cause them to break apart, to form supercontinents over millions of years? It's a puzzle we're still putting together.
It makes you wonder what the Earth will look like millions of years from now. And what about the composition of these mantle blobs? We touched on them maybe containing material from the early solar system. Can we prove that? What else is down there?
Those are the questions that keep geologists up at night. We're like detectives, piecing together clues from billions of years ago. We've got some pieces of the puzzle, but there's still a lot to uncover.
That's what makes this all so exciting. We're still at the very beginning of understanding our own planet. There's so much more to discover, so many mysteries to solve.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe someone listening right now will be the one to make the next big discovery.
So, to everyone listening, take a moment and just think we walk on this planet every single day, but how much do we really know about what's happening beneath our feet? This ancient slab, this incredible journey through time and pressure, it's a reminder that Earth is full of secrets just waiting to be uncovered. So keep asking questions, keep exploring, and you never know what you might find.